All right, everybody, welcome to the third video going over problem 5 on solving systems all three ways. And just like the previous example, I noticed that there is a variable completely solved for again, the y, which makes me think that substitution may be a good place to start. So just like last time, I'm just going to take a second and rewrite my two equations here. And this is a suggestion for you. I know that recopying sometimes causes a little bit of error for getting a negative, but I would suggest doing the same so that you don't have to keep looking up as often. So because I know that y is equal to 2/3 x minus 7, I'm going to take all of that and put that in for y. So I would have 2x minus 3, but now instead of y, I would have 2/3 x minus 7 equals negative 9. Now also, just like the last example, remember that you are distributing a negative number. So we'd have 2x. If I'm multiplying a negative times a positive, that's going to be negative. This is really 3 over 1. So 3 over 1 times 2/3 is really 6 over 3. And so again, I will just write that for now. 6/3 x. Negative 3 times negative 7 is a positive 21 equals negative 9. So if I simplify this, it would be 2x minus 2x plus 21 equals negative 9. Now, if anyone's thinking what I'm thinking, you might be saying to yourself, wait a second, 2x minus 2x is really 0x. So these, in a way, cancel out. So you're left with 21 equals negative 9, which is a false statement. So I'm thinking, based on the substitution, that my answer is no solution, or there's no places that these lines cross. What's a better way for us to tell if we're correct other than graphing this? Sorry about that, my computer just freaked out. What if I come back up here and I say, what if I look at these two lines and see what they look like to see if that answer of no solution makes sense? So let's graph it and see. I'm going to start down 7 and then go up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3, and so on. So that would be my first line. My second line is not in the right format, so I am going to solve for y, just like the previous examples. I'm going to subtract my 2x. Negative 3y equals negative 2x minus 9. Divide by negative 3. So y equals a positive 2/3 x. Negative divided by negative is another positive 3. If I graph this line, I'm going to start at 3 and then go up 2 over 1, 2, 3. This is seeming very familiar to me because I just did this slope. So if I graph this blue line, because both of my slopes here and here are the exact same, my lines are parallel. So remember, same slope, leads to parallel lines. And if lines are parallel, that means they never touch, which means there are no solutions or no answers. So far, two of my methods match. 'Tis a good sign. Just to make sure, again, I'm going to recopy the original equations down here. Y equals 2/3 x minus 7, and 2x minus 3y equals negative 9. Just like the last example, number 4, I noticed that my equations are not lined up in standard form, so elimination does not seem as ideal. But if I take this first equation and I subtract my 2/3 x to the other side, this first equation would become negative 2/3 x, the y is still positive, so plus y equals negative 7 on the other side. So if I write these more neatly, negative 2/3 x plus y equals negative 7, and then I recopy the one in red, 2x minus 3y equals negative 9. In the purple here, I now have a situation where my x's are lined up, my y's are lined up, and the numbers. So just like last time, I'm not going to touch the x's because I don't want to deal with the fractions. But I do notice that my y values If I multiplied this entire equation here by a positive 3, that would cause this to be a positive 3y, and that would cancel out with my negative 3y. So if I distribute that 3 into the problem, 3 times negative 2/3 is technically negative 6/3, so it's really negative 6 over 3x, but that is really negative 2. So this multiplication is negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 21. Second equation stays exactly the same. Again, I would suggest you recopying it, less room for error. These come now to combine to be 0 or cross out. These now combine to be 0 or cross out. So on this side, I'm left with 0 equals negative 30. This statement doesn't make sense. So just like the substitution method, this is again false, which means that my answer for a third time is no solution. It is always good to know all three methods to make sure that your answer is correct. So the reason I put this last one here is, again, be aware for either this quiz, upcoming quiz, or for the final exam that it is okay to get an answer that's either no solution or all real. Please keep that in mind. Again, if you want to rewatch me do any part of this, feel free to watch it again or ask questions in class. All right, guys, thanks for your attention. I hope this helped.